Hello,
Hello?
my name is Mark Monlux, and you are watching Epic Sketch Time. Um, I'm a freelance illustrator out of Tacoma, Washington, and I have a couple comics that I do, The Return of Stickman and The Comic Critic. Epic Sketch Time is open to anyone who likes to draw and be part of an online drawing group. If you're interested, you can contact me via Twitter at markmonlux.com. That's MarkMonlux. And with us today, we have
Julie Dawson from Cincinnati.
This is Locke. I'm from Toronto. I'm just basically, an artist, and I'm just joining in just to mess around.
All right. Mark, I didn't know you were from Washington. I was born in Washougal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I haven't been back since I was 12.
I was born down at Longview, but my family pretty much moved up to the Seattle area.
Oh, nice.
I grew up in the Linwood area, went to school over in Ellensburg for college, and lived in Seattle for 4 years. Lived in Bellevue, but I've lived in Tacoma for the last almost 27 years now.
Wow. I haven't been back since I was 12. It was like right after the Mount St. Helens eruption.
Oh my God, that's the 1 year I didn't live in Washington State. I was actually living as a foreign exchange student in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, and so I come home from school. It was a Saturday, and they have school 6 days a
Oh, wow.
week over there. But Saturday's sort of like a half day because you do a lot of clubs activities. So I came home to have lunch, kind of a late lunch, and my mom always had the TV on for her and her talking Mina bird to listen to. And I hear on the news report, Mounts and the St. Helens Summit, and I went, wait a minute. They said St. Helens Summit, Washington, shouldn't, and I went, whoa, Washington State, St. Helens, what? And I looked up to the TV, and there is St. Helens blowing up. And
that was the view in our backyard when I lived there. Was Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier. It's so beautiful.
And I look over at my host mom, and my host mom looks over at me. She says, "Do you live close to Mount St. Helens?" I said, "I live close enough that I will want to make a phone call tonight," because back then calling internationally was a big.
Oh yeah. That's crazy.
It was
when we went back, how much ash was still there. It was maybe a year after when we went, and it was still like a foot of ash on the ground.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
If you're ever driving southbound on I-5, as you approach somewhere between Longview and the Columbia River, off to the right-hand side, there are these big green mounds. But what those mounds were is where they took all the ash and piled it up.
Oh, wow.
Over time, it got growth on it, but no, just big piles. That was all the stuff they pulled off the highway.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember watching it on the news, and we had not really family there, but our church family was there, and all of our neighbors and stuff. So we really wanted to go back, and we went back about a year after. And that was the last time I was there. I miss it. Even though I was 5 when I moved away, it's still the best place I ever lived, except maybe Skagway, Alaska.
How did you like living in Alaska?
I loved it. I was little. I was 4. We spent 2 summers there when my dad worked on the Yukon Railroad. So it was fun because there was snow every single day, and we used to we had a Opel GT sports car, and we would take that, and my dad would do donuts out on the lakes Because there was, there wasn't anything except the lake there, and it was so frozen you could drive a car on it. So he would go out there and just do donuts on the lake.
That's a riot.
Yeah, we loved it. And then the riverbanks were all clay. So my brother and I would take our little Hot Wheels and make like underground garages for them and stuff. It was fun. Got chased by a bear once. Seriously, we were getting blackberries. We were out gathering blackberries, and a brown bear came up, and I think he really wanted the blackberries more than us, but it scared me half to death because I was little.
I got chased by a bear in 1976 on the Philmont Scout Reservation.
Really? Yeah, we went back to a friend's house that lived close by, and the bear was probably still way back in the woods, not even chasing us anymore, but, little me didn't think that. And then they had a big dog, and the dog was at the front door, and he's barking at us. And then I'm like, bear, dog, bear. And finally somebody just picked me up and brought me in the house. But it was funny.
You really learned how fast you could truly run.
Right, exactly.
I remember, my arms going like this and things just flying by me, and I looked down and I couldn't even see my feet. They were such a blur.
Right. I'm going to try to fix the sun a little bit. It's really bright. There, maybe that'll help. That's better. I can see. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Is that you, Mark, or is that you, Locke?
That's Locke, but you won't be able to hear him or see his thing unless he talks. And then
Talk.
Because whoever's talking, they're the ones whose ugly mug.
Oh, the screen shows. Okay.
No, if you want to view somebody, the little 3 display at the bottom, you just click on that and you can actually see their display.
Yeah, but if you're the host like I am and you do that, then the automatic flopping won't continue. There's no way to get back to it. I would then have to, be clicking on the screens all the time. But yeah, that looks really good. Is that anyone in particular, or just another one of the characters that you're designing up?
Just randomly drawing stuff. I don't know what I'm doing until something pops. I just start drawing,
See what happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to send Bill Morris another invite because it's very unusual for him not to be here. Another friend. So I have some good news.
Yeah?
Yeah, the deck of cards has finally come back from the printers.
Oh, good. How did it turn out?
They came out pretty well. I'm glad that they sent me a preliminary test deck. I mean, I did a run first of all to make sure that I was happy with them.
Mm-hmm.
Then they sent me a proof deck, and it turned out the jokers were all wrong.
Oh no!
And so I replaced they also took a big photograph of everything, but the joker deck's mainly just a thank you text, and it still had the FPO copy on it.
Oh.
And so it wasn't until I actually got to see it
that you recognize that.
Yeah, so went in, got them to reopen the account, changed it. And now what I need to do is I need to order another set of decks from them, but this time only 12, because one of my Uber sponsors was if you put in $700,
Mhm.
you would get your pictures on a special deck set of a special 12 pack
Oh, nice.
with your whatever monster you wanted to be drawn as the Joker.
Oh, how cool.
So this guy wanted to be the Wolfman, and his wife wanted to be Elvira. So
Uh,
I have to do is I wanted to wait until I got this order in before I sent out another order for them. It'll be
Yeah.
more expensive because I'm only buying 12 as opposed to this. What paid it? What's I'm stuttering here. The way I worked my Kickstarter was that I would have enough money to do all the extra splurges, like the prints
Right.
and the extra packs of decks and the better card stock and all of the and of course Kickstarter takes a percentage, and then I would also have to do fulfillment, the shipping and the packing.
Right, right.
So I took all of that, and then I took once all that was paid off, I took all the remaining amount of the money and put it towards the printing, and I was able to print up 1,000 decks. Where,
Wow.
yeah, my Kickstarter, I had about 200 supporters. Most, I would say, about 100 of those are single deck purchases, but most of those are either double or more purchases.
Okay.
Like there's some people who bought half bricks, or I don't know if anyone actually bought a full brick. A full brick is 12.
Right.
Half brick is 6.
Okay. Yeah, that probably did get pretty pricey. I remember the 75 I ordered was like $300. And then I realized that one of the cards was misaligned. And then I changed some of the stuff on the information card that was my Joker, basically. And I had to order another 36 cards, or I think it was two. I think it was 2 decks I had to order to replace those 2 cards in every one of them.
Oh man, that's terrible.
It wasn't too bad. I managed to find a deal, and I think it was like another 50. But so now I can't give the packs they're opened when I give them out because I have to change the queen. I think it was messed up.
Oh no!
So, and they come in such nice little shrink wrap packages.
Wait a minute. Did you when you ordered the second batch? Did you just do nothing but queens?
Yeah, nothing but queens and the information card.
Now I'm
So
not.
I have a pack of queens and a pack of. Actually, I think I got 2 of them of the information because I put 2 in each deck. It's just got my logo and a little description.
Now I noticed that in this package, all the other packages that I got, the cards were shrink wrapped, and then they were put inside the tuck box, and that was shrink wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
But in this last big batch,
Oh wow!
the only thing that was shrink wrapped was the tuck box.
Huh?
And I'm kind of going.
Here, I'll pull one of mine out and show you. Yeah, mine came in these like little acrylic boxes, which I really like, except that they're not hinged. So I had to make like a little belly band for them. Whoop, there it went. Good thing this one was shrink wrapped. And flying across the floor, that would have been a nice game of 52 pickup.
So this is what my tuck box looks like.
Oh, nice. I like that.
It's got a little danger on the flap there.
Nice. It's kind of faded from when you hold it up, but mine's like I made kind of like a railroad track grid with the type for the back. And then this is an ace. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. Hold this at an angle. This is what my Joker looks like.
Oh, I like that.
And this is a typical movie mustard.
Oh, nice. I like that a lot. And here's my... Oh, this is the queens. This is the deck that's the extras that I got. So these are queens. Yeah. And then this was like the information card. I made my little elephant.
I was surprised at how many people out there bought these just because they buy playing cards or playing card collectors.
Right. If I can find one that's not it's open, that's not just the queen. Here's one, I think. Oh wow, this one might be shrink wrap too. Oh well, I guess I have to open them anyway, right? I have to change the queen out. Let's see.
I don't know if I should be unhappy or pleased about that because people were saying that they only wanted to have to undo the shrink wrap once because it's fairly tight shrink wrap, and I'm kind of going, well, wait a minute, all the others were shrink wrapped twice. Why were not these shrink wrapped twice?
That is kind of strange because even when I ordered just the queens, mine were all shrink wrapped. I think I like the kings out of mine the best.
So
here's a king, and they were all kind of like sort of the same type of pattern but different.
Right.
Like there. Trying to get it to my crazy glow of my screen. But what turned out best out of the whole project is I bought a mock-up from Graphic River for the cards. And it was just a beautiful mock-up, and it really made the project shine on my portfolio.
Now, why did you do your deck?
Mine were a project for typography class.
I actually have a deck of cards. You will look. I also collect these things. Let me stop screen sharing. I'll show these to you. I have a big pile of cards here. I started collecting these when I would go to Bumbershoot, and they would have movie gigs, and
nice.
Artists that did the artworks for all the movie gig posters, each one of them would do one of their cards. So a lot of these are movie posters. Then there's let's see, what's this one? This one's a guy who does a book called Badass, which is Badass People in History. And so here's a deck.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see, another movie poster one. This one, let's see, a friend of mine does monster art cards, which are kind of like a version of the Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, cute.
Let's see. We have a local weekly newspaper called The Stranger, so a bunch of artists who did for them did that one. Then there's here's a deck of cards that's places in Tacoma, and they actually got these.
How cool is that?
They actually did two different decks. Then there was this company, Modern Dog. They also specialized in movie poster art. So, but their cards are actually their movie posters that they did.
Nice.
I'm looking around because I have one deck of cards. It's like flashcards for graphic designers.
Oh, how cool is that?
Each thing teaches a certain type of element. I wish I had picked up the deck of cards that was nothing but typography.
That would have been nice.
Now, do you have the phone app called What the Font? Wait, no, it's not that. That's a.
Yeah, I think I have.
There's one where you can guess the font. I'm trying.
Oh.
It's called. I think it's called the Font Game, And it's something that I've been playing ever since I was in college, where, if you're watching a movie, the first person that gets the font wins,
Oh, how cool is that? No, I don't think I have that. I'll have to check that out.
And it's a great app. They also have so they'll throw up 4 different font styles they'll throw up one font style and you have to guess what the name of it is from a multiple choice down below.
Oh, okay.
And then you're given points depending on speed and accuracy. And then there's another part of the game where all those characters of things that aren't fonts.
Oh yeah, the glyphs,
The various
symbols and ands and ampersands.
In that one, they also grill you on what an arc is, what a serif stroke is, what a curve is, what part of the letter it is.
Oh wow, I used to have a cheat sheet on my screen. Yeah. I finally took that down, but yeah, I had that on there forever.
Yeah, I ask designers, people say, "Oh yeah, I'm a designer." I said, you ask them a font question, okay, can you answer these 3 questions? And they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're not a designer. You don't know fonts.
Actually, I love type, so I know most of that. Type's like my favorite.
Have you ever heard of a magazine called Upper and Lower Case?
Yes. UC and LC, right?
Yeah. I love that magazine.
Yeah. I don't think I have any copies of it, but I have heard of it, and I've seen, articles from it and that, but I don't think I've ever actually owned one. Oh, I guess I should show you what I'm working on. I just picked a random lady off the internet, but let's see if you can see it. I'm trying to hold it up. It's pretty light right now. I just started.
I can make out the eyes pretty well.
Yeah, she's got a big hat on.
A bunch of cartoonists here in Tacoma are putting on a Wonder Woman art show.
Oh, nice.
And I just started my painting. This is all the farther I've gotten.
My guy I used to date, his brother married a girl named Linda Carter.
Oh, how much teasing was involved there?
Oh, quite a bit. Quite a bit. Yeah, we always would try to find her Wonder Woman pajamas for for Christmas gifts, and she kind of took it with the little stride though. She was pretty good about it.
Well, finally she gets a decent representation on the big screen.
Yeah.
So if these cards sell well, everything that I sell from this point forward will be straight profit.
Oh, nice.
So, and I'm thinking, well, if that works out well, I'll do my next deck of cards, which will be Obscure Aliens, and that's one that I have. I'm going to share my screen with you guys now so you can see what I'm working on.
Okay.
And I see Bill's face trying to get on here.
I see him as well. I did.
Sounds going in and out.
Oh, there you go. We got you, Bill.
Okay, let me tell you a entertaining story about Safari freezing about 4 times, and even when it was working, getting sluggish and getting dropped from the line during 3 attempts.
You're still using
like it's my everyday.
Oh my God, Safari's. Why aren't you using Chrome? And Bill's gone horribly silent again.
Sorry, so did you.
I did a job application the other day for F&W Media here, and I got all the way through it to the very end, and then it says, you cannot submit this on Google Chrome or Safari. So I had to go and copy and paste everything and put it into Firefox.
Anymore, I type everything up inside Word before trying to post it on the internet.
Yeah, I've gotten to where I do that a lot too. I need my little tiny eraser. I'm gonna have to dig it out.
So because next Monday is going to be Memorial Day.
Oh, it's my son's birthday. Observed.
I will not be hosting. So if anyone else wants to host, raise your hand.
I'll be doing my sketching marathon for most of it, so.
I don't know. I'm hoping I have a job by then, and if I do, I'm going to be out celebrating.
Well, I thought
I might be living on the street.
I thought you had a job. Didn't you say you were? Oh, maybe you were just saying that you were going to a job interview last week. I thought you had a job.
No, not yet. I'm still looking. My problem is I didn't work for like the first 2 years after graduation because I was in a car accident. So my hand would go to sleep if I tried to hold a mouse or drive a car or anything repetitive. My hand would just go to sleep. My whole arm would be asleep. I'd try to drive to my mom's, it's half an hour away, and my arms would be completely asleep.
Ooh,
So
not good.
it made it difficult, considering I'm a graphic designer and I use my mouse all day long. So now I'm trying to think of creative ways to spin it. Because the old I was in a car accident doesn't seem to be cutting it. I'm going to have to come up with something better. You look sad, Bill.
As I said, this didn't do good things to my sense of humor. I sort of like, I'm sort of, okay, it's 10 of, it's time to start turning it on, and then all of a sudden I'm having a bad case of what I've come to start referring to as a cascade, i.e. using it once. And of course, one of them was Safari, and so I couldn't even get into, even try to start clicking the link until about 4:40.
Oh, we lose you again? Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Well, we're not mad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quickly checking Google and Twitter to make sure there's not any last-minute people trying to get in.
Yeah. And then after that, Hangout played the game, its favorite game of I need the new plugin, which I seem to need every other week, according to it, even no matter how many times I download it.
It's in a fighting mood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At very least, it leaves me tetchy.
Yeah, mine likes to fight with me as well.
Looks like I missed 2 people, so I'm going to try adding them. And they were folks who last week I put together a quick question answer session on contracts and licensing, and that went over very well.
That's good.
And I had some people that were hoping to get back in or ask me questions this time. But there are people who are so low on my Google list that when I type in their name,
You gotta type the whole thing.
well, no, there's multiple people with that name,
Oh,
and I can't tell which one it is.
that's frustrating.
Yes. So, now this gal, at least I recognize hers. So if we have someone coming in that just wants to ask me a question, I am doing another one this Thursday. It'll be at 9 o'clock Pacific time. Oh, in the morning.
Oh, I was going to say.
The reason for that is there were several people in Europe who wanted to be on it, but anything earlier doesn't work for me, and anything later doesn't work for them. And that's going to be done on Zoom. I got a totally different invite system. Somebody who is part of the IFVP, that's the International Forum of Visual Practitioners. He has a subscription to Zoom, and he said he'd be more than happy to host it. And all you have to do is just email a link, and you should pop straight in. No need for plugins or anything like that. It should just take you straight to a web page and an activator. And I've used Zoom before. I've been in on other Zoom conferences, and it's really nice. And I've been toying around with the idea of possibly getting Zoom, but because I do this every week, but I don't know whether or not it's got the capability of multiple people doing a screen share like we do this.
Right.
I saw, as is our wont to do, I'll talk about movies. I saw Alien Covenant this weekend.
I can't tell you the last time I watched a movie.
Oh, you're a heathen.
No. Poor.
I watched Babette's Feast last night.
How was Babette's Feast?
Very nice and quiet.
Have you seen Tom Popo yet? Because I know that was the other one in your double feature.
Saw that one on Saturday. That was hilarious.
Both of these are foodie movies.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, after living on really cheap ramen in college, this definitely has me wanting to try.
And I think we lost Bill's sound.
Well, again?
Oh, you cut out there.
Did we lose him altogether?
Well, all I heard was this has him blank.
I think he was wanting to try something, but we didn't get to hear what he wanted to try.
Real ramen.
Ah.
Yeah, because I freely admit that the stuff that I consider comfort food is the pretty much the college student equivalent of eating glue.
Pretty much. Mine was mac and cheese and those little mini bagels with veggie cream cheese. That was my staple when I was in college the first time.
Part of my bachelor chow was to take macaroni and cream, macaroni and cheese, and slice up a hot dog into it and add a little bit of cream corn. That was high living.
Cream corn, huh? I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, it gets that little bit of sweetness and texture.
Mm-hmm.
And frozen corn works too, but I like myself that extra creaminess.
Yeah, my son always liked cream corn.
I'd allow myself to go out and buy a whole chicken once a month.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm feeling like I'm back
I
in
would-
college again with my budget lately. Or lack thereof.
Because my wife and I, we don't eat a lot of junk food at all. We eat pretty healthy, I think.
Mhm.
Mainly chicken breasts.
I got the pasta rollers for my KitchenAid mixer.
Oh,
Uh,
that working for you as opposed to a hand crank.
So that's been fun. I've made ravioli and I made lasagna for my mother for Mother's Day, and I made fresh noodles for it. And then made some ravioli for my friend whose brother was hit while he was crossing the bridge across the Ohio River to come back to Kentucky. A drunk woman hit him, and he was in the hospital for a few weeks. So I made him some homemade ravioli.
You
And we
know,
got that today.
I am surprised at how many, because I've been to Cincinnati a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that bridge going over into Ohio.
Yeah.
And I was talking to people there, and they have never, in their entire life, they have never crossed that bridge.
You're kidding me. I just did it 2 days ago.
And I was kind of, what do you mean? You've never, no, I know the state's there, but I've never gone over the bridge.
You mean they've never even driven over it?
They've never even driven over the bridge.
Oh
They-
my gosh.
Have not even gone out of the state, and they've lived in that town all their entire life.
That's crazy.
And I couldn't believe that.
Wow. I can't believe that hardly.
And Cincinnati is beautiful. It's a beautiful city. The architecture there is just fantastic.
Yeah, Kentucky has a lot of really nice architecture too. I unknowingly moved within 2 blocks of the high school my mother went to, which is still the same building basically. I think they've added on a little bit to it. But I was walking my dogs one day and I was like, wait a minute, that's Holmes High School. My mother went there.
So I went to a elementary school and junior high and high school all at the same. There was Meadowdale Elementary, junior high, and high school, but they were in 3 different complexes.
Mm-hmm.
But all 3 of those complexes have since been rebuilt.
Wow. Now, my son went to Beechwood, and Beechwood has elementary, junior high, and high school all in the same building. Now, they've added on to it a ton, especially since he graduated. It's one of the more affluent neighborhoods. I no longer live there, but yeah, it was. If I wouldn't have gotten divorced and he went and stayed with his dad for a few years, he would have went to the same school his entire life. But it didn't work out like that. So, but he did graduate from that school.
So I think I'm done cleaning up the Terror Beyond space.
The Terror Beyond.
Yes.
Mm.
Quite the nose on this guy.
I'm terrible with noses. That's where I had my trouble. And here we are with the lady. We can try to get you to see her. And she's still not showing up much more than the lips and eyes.
Remember to color the upper lip darker than the bottom lip.
Yeah, I do need to do that. You're right. Thank you.
That's
Got any nose hints? I'm terrible with noses. Gosh.
yeah, but there should be a strong nose shadow. People get
I put
very
it in there and then it just looks terrible.
well. A lot, and that's something about girls. Girls have this squeamishness about noses. They think if they make it look too big, it'll look bad.
I've just never been very good with drawing noses for some reason. Well, now I feel like maybe it's too small now that I added the shadow. Somebody's Mac is barking at them.
Oh, that was mine. Sorry.
It's all right. Mine does it all day. That's why I recognize the sound.
Frequently find myself reluctant to admit to such things because that'll give my PC fundamentalist friends more ammunition to rag on my choice of machinery.
I catch that a lot too.
It's my personal theory that this is proof that no matter how people embrace reality, they're still naturally religious. Except instead of preaching prophets, they start going with what computer you use.
Yeah.
I'm not making this up. I am minding my own business, working at one of my favorite hangouts, and one of my friends suddenly goes and starts going, "Oh, you have a Mac. I'm so sorry."
I did tech support on PCs before I got my Mac, and I'd catch a lot of grief too. Sometimes I get really mad at my Mac, but never mad enough to go back to a PC.
Yeah.
It would be like learning everything all over again, I think, if I had to now.
Yeah, I mean, every now and again, I went to at the moment in where the Mac store at the University Village, one of the big smaller malls in my general vicinity. The Microsoft store and the Mac store are across the lot from each other.
Yeah, it's the same here at Kenwood Mall.
And so back when I was sort of cheating on various online polls by trying to vote for myself on about 5 different computers in an hour, I would go to and do it at the Microsoft store, and I just couldn't get the hang of the feel of those things.
They're so backwards to me now, but it was really hard. I wound up, it was right when I first started back to school, and I had just gotten the Mac like in November, and I started school winter quarter, so like in January, and trying to learn the Mac again because I hadn't used one since high school, and then also do tech support on the PCs at work. The going back and forth was very difficult for me. I finally wound up having to quit the job in June. I just couldn't take it anymore. It was too left brain, right brain, it felt like. I would be at work trying to do something, and I wanted to do it the way the Mac did it, and it wouldn't it wouldn't work for me. I finally gave it up.
And considering and even if there are advantages to the PC, for example, certain applications for Wacom tablets and whatnot, it's sort of because I want everything to be in sync. Sometimes that's not as good a choice as I'd like.
Yeah.
I mean, the most frustrating one for me at this moment is I'm slowly but surely starting to do more and more of my drawing from scratch stuff on Clip Studio Paint, and only to discover that there doesn't appear to be with the exception of this one app which is designed to turn turn a tablet into an interface of your computers, I've yet to find anything. Clip Studio Paint does not appear to have anything for the iPad, and considering the company in America that markets it is pretty much only marketing it and translating the interface into English, it doesn't look like the original company has any interest in making it available to the Mac.
Oh, have you tried the AstroPad?
I've been reading the specs on it, and it does look pretty good.
I'm pretty happy with it.
My only concern is that, yes, it appears to be used for. My only concern is I'm not completely clear whether you can leave your office and work on it in the field, which for me is the whole point of having the iPad.
I think that would work. I think you have to have it either wired through your cord, your charging cable, or Wi-Fi. And sometimes Wi-Fi acts a little weird, so I don't think it will do that.
That's what I was afraid of.
Unless they change something, I don't believe it will.
Yeah, and I'd been starting to play with the sample iPads at the Mac store, and it looks like it looks like it's everything it claims to be. I
love mine.
Playing with it for 15 minutes, and I was drawing, and the stuff that I was putting on the screen were just as good as anything that I can do in my Sketchpad. But at the moment, my biggest concern is, as I said, I want to have all my machines relatively as in sync as possible. And how much does Procreate and what's the other one, and merge with Photoshop or whatever else?
Now, have you tried any of the Photoshop apps for the iPad?
I played with the one that they have on display, and I'm not completely, I haven't had the chance to ask, I admit, and to be quite honest, for the generally I found that the guys in sales, while they'll talk about the specs of the tech in great detail, they seem to be pretty clueless about the apps themselves.
Right.
And
you don't have a lot of apps on the demos.
Yeah, I mean, they have there is the Photoshop, very basic Photoshop sketch function, which, as I said, I took to fairly quickly, but my concern is just how well does it communicate with my version of Photoshop, which
what version are you using?
What?
Which one are you using?
I thought CS5, and I worry that this might be a very small unintentional conspiracy to force me to subscribe to the cloud finally.
Yeah, it does. It syncs up really nicely with the cloud. I use the cloud personally just because we had it in school and I got so used to it.
Yeah.
But it does sync up really well with everything. Like you can sync everything across. Like if you do something on your iPad and go right to your Mac, it'll be there if you put it in your library.
Okay.
And it's also got one called Capture, which is like a camera, and you can take a picture of something and it'll create an Illustrator line drawing vector of it.
Oh,
now it's
nice.
got 10,000 points, and you're going to have to delete points if that's an issue. But it's pretty neat. I've used it a few times, and it works. It's just a lot of work to clean up because there's so many different lines in it.
Oh, I mean, if it's anything like the amount of time all of the times I've ever used that function on Illustrator, that
yeah, it is.
Yeah, where it's literally, I frequently find it's faster tracing an item.
Yeah, I've spent hours and days trying to fix stuff like that before, and just finally decided it was easier just to draw it.
Yeah. I've got to sit down and up my Illustrator skills one of these days.
I haven't been on Illustrator a lot lately. I've been doing a lot on
I'm perfectly competent with Illustrator, so that if somebody asks me to do something on Illustrator, I can do it for them. But at the same time, because my skill set can be easily described as glorified tracing, I don't feel comfortable advertising the skills.
Right. I get kind of frustrated with Illustrator and Photoshop, especially when they update, because they update so constantly with Creative Cloud that I'll not be on there for a week, and then I'll go back and be like, where the hell did that tool go? I cannot find it to save my life, and it's gone.
I think I remember you complaining about that last week, or maybe it was.
Yeah, it can be very annoying when they do that. I've gotten to where I haven't updated Dreamweaver in about a year, because the last time I tried to update it, it destroyed my site.
That was one of the reasons I'm currently perfectly happy with CS5.
Yeah.
I mean, considering my style is pretty much colored cartoons, so I don't need any of the Clark's Law level magic toys that Adobe shows off. So unless
I'm not real thrilled with them. I tell you, I wish they just kind of keep it a little bit more basic than all the bells and whistles are just a little much more than.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'll be forced to get it sooner or later when I'm in a position where a client needs something to be in sync. But in the meantime, for making my portfolio, CS5 still works very well for me.
There's times I miss CS5 and 6, but I don't know. I had so much trouble installing them on my computer. I think that was one of the main things that won me over. But if I find a job soon, I'll be going back to CS5 or CS6 or whichever one I can get to install.
And everybody's still there?
Yeah, we've just gone quiet.
Okay, just making sure. The first half hour was making me a little paranoid about those things.
It wasn't treating you very nicely, was it?
No. I mean, I don't know if it's a warning sign that I need to start shopping for a new machine or if it's something else gumming up the works, but I occasionally have a few instances that get very frustrating and a huge waste of time.
Yeah, I think Apple's trying to prepare me. My Apple Care expired in October, and it seems like my machine's just trying to go downhill from there ever since.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, I assumed it was because at the moment I only have my hard drive is only 300 plus gigs left, though that couldn't be. That doesn't seem right to me. So I've been making a point of backing up a lot of stuff and trying to move a lot of the stuff that I really don't need into the archives.
What mine has been doing is I have a time capsule. Is that the right one? It's the hard drive in the airport.
Yes.
It has been killing my hard drives. It killed 2 of my WD hard drives. Killed them. Like they won't even turn on now. And it would go in, when it started to do it, it would just go in and it would take a file and it would change the name, the file name. Like instead of a .psd, it would change it to something else, and it would come up and it would show a question mark. And now I can't see anything. Like it won't even turn on anymore. But it went through and it did that to all my backups. So I lost all my my work from school basically, unless I had it on my little portable hard drives or on a flash drive. Everything else is gone. I don't know why or how it did that, but it ate everything on there.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And I've gotten to the point where now I won't save any. If I want to save something, I save it on my portable hard drive because that's the only thing I can depend on. It's the only thing I know will still function. I got all these colored pencils out and I haven't touched them. Gave her a little hair. No, can't see it still. I guess I lost all that natural light I was getting. It just went away. Just turn a light on, maybe. There we go. Is that your goddess, Mark?
Oh, you want to see what I'm working on?
Is that what you're working on? This is the goddess?
No, I'm working on, this is from a movie called First Men in the Moon.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, nothing like a little bit of Harryhausen stop motion stuff.
So who's working on the, what is she, a Hindu goddess?
Well, she's Jane actually, but it's for a monthly challenge that I'm part of, the character design challenge. It's also a very good index at. It's also a very good reference index on Pinterest. But anyway, every month they do a challenge for a different theme, and this month was Indian dancers. And rather go with the Bollywood dancers like everybody else seems to be doing, there's the Asian Art Museum here has a very good collection of Northern Indian sculpture, and so I'm basing mine on about the half dozen sketches of this one statue I've done over the years.
Oh, okay. Reminds me of a little Ganeshi statue that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little arch in the back of it like that.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm not in a position to redraw any more, but I'm wondering if I should have a bit more of a curve in the back.
I don't know. I think it works. Believable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like I expect to win the challenge every time. You wouldn't believe the level of professionalism on this thing. I generally go in with one, to say I've done it, and two, not to embarrass myself.
Right.
I mean, it's sort of like I'm not the worst person who enters, but at the same time, I am definitely blatantly not in the upper echelon of these people.
Oh, I know. I went to SCAD, believe me. I almost quit drawing completely when I saw what some of the other students could do there.
Right. I mean, I mostly can tell myself I don't draw that way, but having said that, no, these guys really are good.
Yeah, they're some of them are amazing. My one girl, she was 21. She was just the cutest little thing, but you should have seen the way that she could bring texture out in almost anything. It was so amazing. It would just make me, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
And on that happy note, you've been watching another episode of Epic Sketch Time. Again, we're not going to be out on Memorial Day weekend, but if you would like to participate with us on another Monday, we do this typically every Monday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Please contact me at Mark Monlux on Twitter, or you can reach me via Facebook or any other social medias. I've got Mark Monlux pretty much cornered on the marketplace. And I want to thank everyone for showing up tonight, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Okay.
All right. I'll send you a tweet if I can make it Thursday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.